Hi guys, Kelly Wright here with Peace, Love, and Wellness, bringing you a yoga flow. Today will be a Vinyasa Flow. So if you'll join me in a seated position in easy pose, one foot in front of the other, we're going to root through the sit bones, finding length through our spine. Allow the shoulders to soften down away from the ears. Find that breath. Maybe set an intention for the practice ahead, choosing a word or an affirmation to focus on. We're going to bring those right fingertips down to the floor beside us, and our left thumb's going to come to touch that left shoulder. We're going to reach up and over, finding a stretch through the left side of the body. Feel the expansion and the stretch as you inhale, and find softness as you exhale. Inhale back to center. Release those left fingertips to the floor. Right thumb comes up to that right shoulder, and then reach up and over across. Inhale back to center. Release those right fingertips to the floor. Draw the chin to the chest, and take the right ear over to the right shoulder. Press through those left fingertips. And circle the head to the other side. Press through those right fingertips. Pressing through both fingertips. Go ahead and roll the neck right to left a few times. Good, drawing the chin to the chest, lifting the gaze. We're going to just step the soles of the feet in front of us. We're going to take our hands and wrap them around the shins right underneath the kneecaps. And we're just going to gently release our forehead down towards the knees. It may touch, it may not. Taking a few breaths here. Begin to lift the gaze, and we're going to allow the knees to just drop out to the sides as we bring the soles of the feet together. You can pull the heels in towards the body as close as you'd like. Find length through the spine, draw the shoulders down away from the ears, and then begin to hinge at the hips, keeping that heart lifting forward. Engage that core, start to lift the torso back up. I'm just going to turn so you can see me. We're going to extend the right leg straight out in front. Our arms come up over the head. And again, we're going to hinge, keeping the heart lifted, reaching the hands towards the shin, ankle, or foot. Release tension in the jaw and the neck and the shoulders. Use the hands, walking the torso back up. We're going to place that left hand right behind our hip bone. And we're going to take our right hand to our heart, and we're going to lean onto that left knee, pressing the hips up and forward, and releasing that hand back. Continuing to press the hips forward, opening up through the heart space and the shoulders. Slowly and with control, begin to lower the hips back to the floor. Bring both arms back up over the head. Hinge at the hips, reaching for a forward fold again. Feeling the stretch through the back of that right leg. Again, using the hands to walk the torso back up. We're going to switch out the feet so the left foot comes forward and the right sole of the foot comes to the left inner thigh. Arms come up over the head, keeping the heart lifted as you hinge. Nice flat back. Take it as far as you can, and then you can begin to soften over. Head to knee pose. Good, use those hands to walk the torso back up. This time that right hand plants on the floor, right outside the right hip, left hand to heart. Lift the hips, press them forward, and open up through the chest. Slowly lower the hips back to the floor. Arms come up over the head. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Again, use those hands to walk the torso back up. We're going to extend the right leg. We're going to pull both heels back in towards the body, wrapping those hands around the shins once again and drawing the forehead down towards the knees. Take 2 breaths here. Beautiful. Lift the gaze. We're going to take both feet out to one side, finding our way to our hands and knees. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hip bones, and the tops of the feet directly behind the knees. Spiral those elbows in. Press not only in through towards the wrists, but also through each fingertip. Grip into the floor and the mat. We're going to begin our cat-cow flow here. We're going to inhale, dropping the belly, lifting the gaze, lifting the tailbone. Exhale, round through the spine, tuck the pelvis, tuck the chin, gaze at the belly button. Continue this flow. Good, we're going to come back to a neutral spine, bringing our big toes to meet each other. You can leave the knees where they're at and sink the hips back towards the heels and gently walk the hands towards the top of the mat, releasing the forehead down to the floor. Restore that breath. Bring back to mind your intention if you took one. Inhale, lift the gaze, begin to shift the weight forward. tuck those toes and press through the hands, coming into our first downward facing dog. Lift the tailbone nice and high. Press through the hands. Press the chest towards the upper thighs. Guide that breath all the way down into the belly. If you want to begin to pedal out the feet a little here, you can. Draw both heels down towards the floor. Press deeper through those palms and fingertips. Begin to bend the knees, gaze forward, and slowly we're going to step the feet up towards the hands, finding our way into a standing position. Find a bend through the knees as you roll the torso up. Bring those palms to face forward. Draw the shoulders down, away from the ears. Take a breath. Inhale, both arms up over the head, palms together. Exhale, bring the thumbs to the forehead. And then slowly lower those hands all the way down towards the floor. Release the head, let it hang heavy. Press through the four corners of the feet. Make sure you don't sink back into the heels. Inhale, flat back, hands come to the thighs. Find length from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Exhale, forward fold. See if you can take the fold any deeper this time. Bend the knees. Inhale, lift the torso back up. Palms together over the head. Exhale, thumbs to the forehead, and then heart center. Inhale the arms back up. Release the palms. Exhale, hinge at the hips, swan diving down, reaching for the floor, letting the head hang heavy. We're going to shift the weight into the left foot. The right foot comes back for a standing split. Your body will want to open up the hip so that you can send that leg further up. Make sure that you square the hip to the floor and then lift the heel as high as it'll go. Doesn't matter how high that heel goes, it's where we feel it. Exhale, release that right foot back down towards the floor. Bend through the knees. Roll the torso up. Palms together up over the head. Exhale, thumbs to the forehead. Heart center. Good, release those palms to face forward, mountain pose. Arms come up over the head. Exhale, hinge at the hips, swan diving down. Releasing the tension in the head, we shift the weight into the right foot as the left heel lifts up, keeping the hips squared, standing split. Those toes should be pointing down towards the floor, not to the wall. Slowly lower the left heel down. Bend through the knees. And this time we're going to inhale up into a chair pose. So the knees stay bent, the torso lifts up. Tuck that pelvis, tuck the tailbone. Two more breaths here. Exhale those hands to heart center. And stand through the legs, releasing the hands, palms facing forward. Arms come up over the head. Exhale, hinge at the hips. We're taking a vinyasa. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release. Bend the knees as much as you need to plant the hands, stepping one foot back and then the other. We're gonna lower down through chaturanga, pressing through to cobra. We're gonna tuck the toes, engaging the core. We lift back up to a plank and then to downward facing dog. Our right leg is going to come up for a three-legged dog. Hips are squared to the mat again. And then we're gonna exhale, bringing the knee to the chin. From here, we're going to take that right ankle over towards our left hip bone, coming into a pigeon pose. Our hips are squared. If you need some support under your hip bone, that's absolutely fine. Will still be very effective. The left leg is straight back in line with the left hip bone. And as you wish, you can start to lower the torso over that front leg. Utilizing that breath into the right hip space. Lifting the gaze, coming up onto the hands, walking over to the right side just a little bit. Finding a little twist through the spine, back to center. We're going to press through those hands, tucking that back left toe. Our hips are going to come back up and our right leg is going to press back up to three-legged dog. Toes pointing to the floor. Bend the knees, stack the hips, and take a moment to notice the difference in that hip space after this pose. Release that leg back up to three-legged dog and then down to our traditional downward facing dog. Left toes lift up, three-legged dog. We're gonna shift into a plank, bringing that left knee towards the chin. We're gonna send that ankle over towards the right hip bone and slowly lower down into our pigeon pose. Once you check in and make sure the hips are squared, both to the floor and to the front, you can start to lower the torso down over that knee if you choose. Lift the gaze. Begin to come up onto the hands. And before lifting up out of this, we're just gonna walk the hands over to the left side, finding a gentle twist. Back to center. Pressing through the hands, tucking the right toe, lifting the hips, sending that leg back up for three-legged dog. Bend the knee, stack the hips. Return back to three-legged dog, and then traditional downward facing dog. We're gonna bend the knees, lowering the knees all the way down to the floor. Walking the knees up to the hands, coming onto our seat. We can bring our hands forward, using the core to slowly lower the back all the way down. Hands come to the sides of the body. Pull the heels in closer to the glutes. Feel the shoulders relaxing into the floor, rooting into the ground. Press through the soles of the feet, pressing the pelvis up. Chin comes to chest. Bridge pose. Be mindful the knees don't come out to the sides. Keep them in line with the hip bones. Squeeze the glutes. Take a breath all the way down into the belly. Feel the belly rise. As you exhale, slowly lower down, starting with upper back, mid back, low back. We're gonna do that one more time. This time as we inhale and lift up, our arms are gonna go with us up over the head. Squeeze the glutes, and as you exhale, slowly lower the hands back down as you slowly lower the back. Good, we're going to extend that right leg and then the left leg. Taking as long here as you'd like for final relaxation. You can pause the video. Relaxing all our muscles into the floor below us. Letting everything melt off that we no longer need, stress, tension, negativity, letting it all just melt into the floor. Softening the forehead, relaxing our jaw. Breathing into the heart space. Softening the hip bones, the legs, and the feet. Again, you can pause this video to take as much time here as you'd like. That was our quick Vinyasa flow. I hope it served you. Thank you for joining me.